Now that the Avengers Endgame trailer is finally out, the Russo brothers have been speaking out a little bit about it in some interviews. In a recent interview, the Russo brothers talked about the consequences, stakes, and the cost of resurrecting the fallen heroes in Avengers Endgame. Do we all remember how before Avengers Infinity War came out, we all thought that a ton of our heroes were going to die in the movie? And I'm not talking about from Thanos' snap, I'm talking about from Thanos actually killing heroes physically in battle. I think a lot of people thought that some main characters were going to die, such as Thor, Captain America, Iron Man, the Hulk, Black Widow, Hawkeye, War Machine, but they made it out alive. In fact, Thanos managed to gather all of the Infinity Stones and perform the snap, wiping out half of the universe from existence, but the main Avengers managed to survive the snap. What a coincidence there, Marvel. So our original Avengers are left with some supporting characters as well, but there are a lot of characters that got dusted due to the snap. However, I think the majority of people believe that these characters are going to be coming back somehow. And this kind of disappointed fans due to the lack of consequences and stakes in Marvel movies. But even still, people believe that either Captain America or Iron Man are going to die in Avengers Endgame. And recently in some interviews, the Russo brothers commented on the fact that Avengers Endgame is going to have real stakes, real consequences, and will be a tearjerker. Here's what Anthony Russo had to say in an interview about consequences and stakes. One thing that has always been very important for Joe and I is a real commitment to stakes and to consequences. We have the same commitment to the stakes being real and things costing characters in a real way. So right off the bat, the Russo brothers acknowledge that stakes and consequences are very important to the movies. And then they confirm that there will in fact be real stakes, real consequences, and things costing characters in a real way in Avengers Endgame. But even though the Russo brothers say that there will in fact be real consequences in Avengers Endgame, we know that the heroes that fell victim to the snap are going to come back somehow. We have plenty of sequels coming in the future that involve the dusted heroes. We have Spider-Man Far From Home coming out. We have Black Panther 2, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So we know that they're coming back somehow. But that does not necessarily mean that there won't be deaths, permanent deaths, in Avengers Endgame. When talking about the resurrection of the fallen heroes in another interview, here's what the Russo brothers had to say. Anthony started off by saying, "I will say this, there is a real commitment on our end to the stakes. Yes, this is a fantasy world, and yes, remarkable things can happen in a fantasy world, but," and then Joe Russo chimed in and said, "they come at an incredibly high cost." So basically what is happening here is the Russo brothers acknowledge that there are going to be resurrections in Avengers Endgame, despite Thanos' clever line in the beginning of Infinity War.
No resurrections this time.
Because like I just said, there's plenty of evidence that some characters are coming back. But just because some characters are being resurrected does not mean that there still won't be some permanent deaths. As Joe Russo said in the interview, some things that they do in Avengers Endgame are going to come at incredibly high costs. Joe continued in the interview by saying, "For us, there will always be stakes, and the stakes have been progressing from film to film, and I think you can extrapolate that they will continue to deepen in Avengers 4. So if you take a look at all of the films in the MCU that the Russo brothers have directed, you can definitely see that the stakes have progressed over time. In Captain America: The Winter Soldier, S.H.I.E.L.D. fell. In Captain America: Civil War, the Avengers fell apart. And then in Avengers Infinity War, they all lost. Thanos collected all of the Infinity Stones and dusted away half of the universe. So the stakes and the consequences have definitely progressed, and they said that they're going to progress even more in Avengers Endgame. Well, the last consequence was Thanos wiping away half of the universe from existence. And we know that they're coming back somehow, so how could consequences progress even more in Avengers Endgame? Permanent deaths. The Russo brothers have stated that this is their movie. They did it the way they wanted to do it. And it seems like their way could involve killing some characters. And to top it off, when talking about deaths in the interview, Joe added with a sly smile, "Just you wait." And when asked if fans should bring their handkerchiefs to the movie, Anthony Russo said, "I will be bringing one." So based off of what Joe and Anthony Russo have said in these interviews, there will be stakes, there will be consequences, and there could possibly be permanent deaths in Avengers Endgame. So let me know what you think about what the Russo brothers said in these interviews in the comments down below. Do you think that these incredibly high costs and these consequences are going to mean some of our heroes are going to die? And if so, who do you think it's going to be? Let me know what you all think. And I'm still giving away a life-size Infinity Gauntlet. If you would like to enter for your chance to win, all you have to do is subscribe to my channel, like this video, and comment down below with your thoughts and your favorite superhero. As always, thank you all so much for watching.